Evening, everybody. Just getting home. So I wanted to jump on because had some really good conversations today with a couple of blokes. Not together, they were separate. It was a bit one-on-one. One, hang on, let me put the light on. That's better. Yeah, so I had some interesting conversations about people in relationships. And the first guy I spoke to, he is married and was very open and honest about sharing his thoughts on cheating. And he made a very interesting point, and I'll get to that in a minute. Also, caught up with another friend who is separated, not officially divorced, and also had a very interesting perspective on breakups in general. And both of these conversations really did tweak my thinking, and it has actually changed my perception on the whole thing. So obviously, I'm very near to being divorced. My divorce was granted in the federal court? State court? I don't know. It was granted by a judge earlier this month. So, So obviously quite some time has passed, and I haven't really had anything to do with my ex. Just to update those who don't know too much about the story, I believe he cheated. So, you know, make of it what you will. According to him, he met her a week after I left, which seems to be a little bit coincidental. But anyway, the whole time when he broke up with me, he didn't really give me a reason why. He just said, look, it's too hard, I can't do this anymore. And obviously having separated and moving state, you know, finding out he's got a new, he's in a new relationship, they've had a baby, they're actually engaged now. So it's almost like watching a train wreck, and you can't stop but watch. And the story just keeps getting worse and worse. And it just, I think, solidifies for me exactly, it makes me question who I was married to. And I certainly have a different perspective on who that person was. I believe that, you know, it could have been one of two ways. He could have been what I believe is to be more truth than not, is he was pretending to be someone he wasn't. And by being with this girl who is completely opposite to me, I believe he can be himself, and that's a total imposter. Someone who says, you know, it's like those Catholics that aren't practicing and they still, you know, not that I believe in religion. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. Basically, look, he was not someone I thought I was married to. End of story. And this whole time, you know, especially the fact that he's got someone new, this whole time I've been blaming myself, thinking, what did I do wrong? And always reflecting inward and thinking, you know, could I have said this differently? Or could I have done this differently? Or, you know, if we'd only tried this, or if I'd only done that, you know, like things that are stupid, like I should have lost more weight, or I should have tried more. You know, I can hand on heart say that I tried everything that I possibly knew how to fix our marriage. But interestingly enough, it has to be both parties willing to make it work. And if one party has checked out, it makes that very, very difficult. And I believe in my situation, he checked out quite a long time ago before I was even aware. So whether he'd met her and they were emotionally cheating, which I believe is just as bad, in my opinion. In my opinion, emotional cheating is just as bad. If you're texting another woman with the intention that you've got feelings for that person, well, then that's where you've crossed a line. So, you know, heavens knows where he met her or whatever, but this whole time I've been sitting and blaming myself and almost blaming myself for my marriage ending and to be quite honest, I shouldn't be doing that. It's, you know, it takes two parties to either make it work or make it break. So I take partial responsibility for some of the things that I did that I'm not proud of in my marriage. You know, like saying things to him that probably didn't help the situation and maybe drove a wedge between us even more. So the first guy that I was talking to, the married guy, and for obviously their privacy, I will not disclose who that is, but we talked about the whole cheating, and he made a very good point that I don't think men intentionally go to cheat, but there's something chemically within a man where he desires to feel physically still connected with their partner, their wife, partner, spouse, whatever. Men are driven by desire, and he said that by my wife being intimate with me, I still love and care for her, but by her being intimate with me shows me that she still loves me and that we still are connected and we still have that bond, and that's not lost. And he made a really good point and said that life gets in the way. Work, other responsibilities, children, for example, you know, sporting commitments and kids' sporting events. So life gets in the way. And he said sometimes, you know, we just go to bed and nothing happens, you know. And, you know, he goes, I understand why people do look elsewhere for that physical attention. And, you know, what rang true to me was the fact that, you know, I feel like that was me in my marriage. You know, and I blamed myself for a lot of it. And he said, look, I don't condone what he's done is right, but I can understand why he did that. And I can understand why men do look elsewhere, because if life gets in the way and you're too busy to spend time with one another because, you know, things are chaotic, by the time you actually get to bed, you're both physically and mentally exhausted, that you don't have the energy, I suppose. And having come from that place, I understand it made me quite sad because, you know, there were so many things I wanted to fix, and the only thing I really wanted was to be and feel close with my husband. You know, and it didn't work out. And so I had a very honest conversation with him, and it was really nice and reassuring. It made me think about things from my ex's point of view, and, you know, maybe I wasn't particularly happy. You know, I'd moved states, I'd sacrificed a lot, I'd, you know, had a lot of emotional turmoil, I guess, and battles going on in my head, and I just, you know, I wasn't the best version of myself, and I take responsibility for that. And that's, you know, not his responsibility to be the best version of me, it's my responsibility to be the best version of me. So, the second guy that I caught up with today, he is still technically married, has a child, he's separated, but not divorced. And it was quite refreshing talking to him, because we both talked about the whole concept of not feeling worthy enough, and, you know, that whole concept of feeling bad and blaming yourself in the situation. Because in his case, his other half left him for another man, and they had a young child together. So, you know, for him, it's been, you know, emotionally tough. And he said something to me that made it was so profound that I felt like I had to share it with everybody. He said, you can sit there and you can blame yourself as much as you like. But the question is, did they give you as much as you put in? So basically, you know, you put in, you get back, right? Did that equate in your situation? And I stopped and I thought, do you know what? No. What I put in, what I feel I put in, does not equate what I got out of it and what I got back. You know, relationships, from my perspective, relationships are give and take. It is both parties working really hard and both having a common objective to put in and get out exactly what they put in. If not, you know, sometimes, obviously the scales are tipped a little bit sometimes, but, you know, I was just so blown away by that one comment. It really has spun things around for me, and that's something I really needed to hear, because I don't feel like I got back what I put in. And I can hand on heart say that I tried everything I possibly could, in my opinion. And I don't believe that he tried everything he could.